Hi, I'm Ray, librarian at the Volusia County Public Library, and today we're going to bake a gluten-free cake. The first step to do this would be to gather your ingredients. We'll walk through them as we mix, but the other important thing that you're going to need are two round cake pans, 8 to 10 inch. You're going to want to grease the inside of these, so whether you use butter or if you get some of the non-stick cook spray and spray on the inside, but you'll need two of these prepared and ready to go. So your next step will be to mix the wet ingredients. So in our mixing bowl, we have 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, and to that you're going to add 10 tablespoons of softened, partially melted butter. I've done that in the microwave here. So that's going to go into our mixing bowl. And we're going to stir this together, and when it comes together, I'll be back. So as you can see, it's come together. The butter is mixed into the sugar. It's turned a little bit of a lighter color. And now we're going to want to add our eggs to the mixture. There's 4 egg whites plus 1 whole egg. Into the bowl it will go, and I'm going to mix that all together. And I'll be back when that comes together. So we're going to work on our dry ingredients. So in our bowl here we have 2 cups of gluten-free 1-to-1 flour. And to that, we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch plus 2 tablespoons. So 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of cornstarch will go into our gluten-free flour. The next thing we're going to add is powdered buttermilk. And you are going to need the equivalent of 1 1/3 cup of regular buttermilk. Powdered buttermilk, there's a conversion that goes on the back, so this works out to be about 4 tablespoons of powdered buttermilk. But you can use the regular if you want to, it's up to you. And then we have some baking soda, baking powder, salt, and some xanthan gum. And that is 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt that are all going to go into our dry ingredients. And we're going to whisk that together so it comes together, and then we're going to do what's known as the 3-part method in baking. So we've got our dry ingredient bowl here. We've got our wet ingredient, which was the sugar, the eggs, and the butter. And because I'm using powdered buttermilk, I actually am going to use water, but if you were using buttermilk, that would be your 3rd part that you were using. So you're going to pour about 1/2 of your sugar and egg butter mixture in, and stir that together. And what you will end up with is a dry dough, and when it gets really dry, what you want to do is pour about 1/2 of your water or buttermilk mixture into it. So when it starts to get like this and it's hard to stir, you're going to add your water or your buttermilk. So about 1/2 of this will go in. And when it loosens back up, you'll repeat that. You'll put the rest of your wet ingredients. When it gets a little more solid, you'll add the rest of your liquid. I'll be back when it's all mixed together. So we've mixed those ingredients together, and this is what your cake batter is going to look like, but there's one more ingredient that we need to add in. Now is the time that you add your tablespoon of vanilla. I like to eyeball it. You can measure it if you like. And then you're going to give it one final stir to make sure you really get the vanilla in and wipe down the sides of the bowl, because you don't want any random flour. It makes the cake gritty. So I will be back when this is all together. So this is your finished cake batter, and you would pour this into your 2 cake pans, splitting it between the 2 8 to 10 inch cake pans equally. And then you will smooth the top off. These will go into a preheated 350-degree oven, and they'll bake for about 30 minutes. And when you're done baking, this is the finished result. You'll end up with a pair of cakes much like that, and then it's ready for your favorite type of frosting, whatever that may be. So if you've enjoyed this video, we would encourage you to check out some of the gluten-free cooking books that we have at any of the branches of the Volusia County Public Library. I also encourage you to check out our different media channels, whether that be on Facebook, YouTube, or our Instagram channel. Thanks for watching.